Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to achieve this look using a full face of e.l.f. cosmetics. It's been a while since I've done a full face of e.l.f., so I did have to go and purchase a few things from Target, including some of their newer releases like these bronzing drops. And I also wanted to try the Holy Hydration Hydrogel Moisturizer. I am going to be doing my eyes first, but I still wanted to apply some moisturizer because my skin is feeling really dry at the moment, even though I do have oily skin. Okay, now my hands are too slick to open up the eyeshadow primer. So this is the Lock It Down eyeshadow primer. And I always use an eyeshadow primer because my eyelids are so oily. Although this is feeling very oily. Do not like the way this feels at all. I think instead what I'm going to do is grab some concealer. I did pick up a new shade of the 16-hour Camo Concealer, and I accidentally got the matte one. I wanted to buy the hydrating. Darn it, I could have sworn I ordered the hydrating. Bummer. Okay, well, I'm going to use this one on the lid because I just do not like how greasy feeling this primer is. Now I'm going to take a brush and, okay, not only is it very matte, it's also very, very light. I mean, it's probably going to be fine for this purpose, although I think I may have used too much. Things are not getting off to a great start here, are they? Okay. I do have faith, though. I have faith. So I'm just blending out that concealer. And now I'm going to take a little bit of powder. This is the Halo Glow Setting Powder. And I am going to put a little bit of this just right on the lid to set. And now we'll start in on the eyeshadow. I'm not going to do anything super complicated. First, I'm taking this bronzer from e.l.f. This is honestly one of my biggest pet peeves about this brand. They put everything in, this packaging that has the name of the product and the shade and all of that, but it's very rarely on the actual product itself, like with the lip liners. You don't know what color these are unless you kept the packaging, the pouch that they come in, or you labeled them, which someone told me to do when I first complained about this, and I never ended up doing. So I have no idea what the shade names of these are. And even the foundations that I have to use. I have looked everywhere for the shade name on this package. I mean, maybe I'm blind, but I do not see a shade name on here. So I apologize in advance for that. Okay, I'm cutting in here to say that I did ask on my Instagram story if anyone knew where the shade name was on the packaging, and someone sent me this photo. So there's a sticker on the bottle that I obviously ripped off. As you can see in that photo, it says peel, and so when I peeled there, I obviously peeled off the name. This does have a shade name on the back. It says Forever Sun-Kissed, but I don't know the actual name of the product. I assume it's just matte bronzer. So I'm going to take some of that matte bronzer and starting on the outer corner of my eye, I'm going to run that through my crease. This is like a nice mid-toned, light to mid-toned golden brown. It's definitely very warm, so if you don't like warm tones on your eyes, then this would not be the move for you. But I am going to use an eyeshadow palette that is more neutral to cool toned. It is this palette called, I think this one does have a name on it. It's called Everyday Smoky. And so now that I've laid down that first shade, I'm going to go back in and deepen it up with this sort of mid-tone brown, but I'm also going to dip my brush into this kind of smoky gray to lighten it up just a little bit. And I did recently upload a video on mixing eyeshadows. More people need to practice mixing eyeshadows because it really does end up working really, really well. For instance, this palette as an example. There's no like mid-tone crease shade in here that's not a shimmer, but you could mix it in with another shadow, a lighter shadow, and get more of the tone that you were looking for, you were hoping for. Hopefully that made sense. And then I also recently uploaded a very short hooded eye tutorial, basically taking you step by step through this very technique that I'm doing right now. So once that's on, I'm going to go back in with that first brush and blend. I will say that these shadows are blending nicely. They do have good pigmentation to them. I want to put one of these shimmers onto my lid. I think I'm going to use this one right here, the third one in. Just using my finger. Oh, that's pretty. It's kind of like a silvery color. And I think it's pulling a little bit lighter than it would had I not put down that concealer first. Okay, that's pretty. I think I might want something a little bit darker though. I don't know, I'm just feeling like I want something a little darker on the lid. Yeah, I'm gonna use that next shimmer shade down from that first one and pack that on the lid. These shimmers are actually quite nice. Okay, now I want to go back in and darken those outer corners a little bit. And now I'm going to use the darkest color in the palette and just line the outer half of my upper lash line. And don't worry about what's happening here. That's going to be fixed. And once again, I go over my reasoning for this in that hooded eye video. Now I'm using a Q-tip and some eye makeup remover and cleaning up the mess I have made. And this is why I did my eyes first. So here's what the eyes are looking like. And now it's time to curl my lashes. And then I'm going to tight line using this No Budge retractable eyeliner in black. I do like how easy that was. I didn't poke myself in the eye. All right, now let's give this mascara a try. It is the Lash and Roll Curling and Lifting Mascara. I purchased this one in Rich Black. Wow, this is definitely giving some lift. Nice lift, nice separation. Not a ton of volume, but I'm not mad about it. Yeah, if I build, I do get some volume, but I really, really like how it's lifting the lashes. And now that I'm on the super magnified side of my mirror, I'm really liking the way the eyeshadow looks. All right. Oh, you know what? I also want to put a little bit of something underneath my lash lines as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of that same brown that I used on the outer corners, and I'm going to brush that along the lower lash line. All right, now it is time to move on to foundation. And actually, I picked up the bronzing drops. I purchased them in pure gold, and I think I'm going to mix them in with the Soft Glam Satin Foundation. And my eagle-eyed viewers might be noticing that I have some press-on nails on one side, on one hand, and then not on the other. That is because I'm in one of those moments where I don't want to rip the nails off because that damages your nails. I want them to fall off naturally, but I don't want to put on new ones onto the fingers without the nails because I need them to come off by the end of the week because I'm going to a Halloween party and I need to wear different press-ons. You know, sometimes the reasoning that goes through my head seems ridiculous to others, but it makes sense to me. Let's shake it up. And my dog is barking because the garbage truck is picking up our garbage right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started mixing the bronzing drops and the foundation. Bronzing drops done. Now let's put some foundation on the tray. So that's what we're working with. Now I'm using a foundation brush from Real Techniques, mixing the two together and buffing it on. Oh, I like the way this is looking. Okay. You know, I tried this foundation on its own when it first came out, and I remember liking it but not loving it. So I don't know if the bronzing drops are what's making me really happy with how it's looking, but I'm really happy with how it's looking. I definitely think the bronzing drops have given it more of a glow. Oh my gosh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to use the primer. I wanted to use the e.l.f. primer. I'm telling you guys, sometimes that brain fog, it's a wonder I can put out any video sometimes. I am just going through it. And I know a lot of my fellow 40 and 50 somethings know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, love. I love, love, love this combination. Now, of course, I'm gonna have to check in with you in a couple of hours to let you know if it stays looking like this or if I end up a greasy mess by the end of the day, because I am oily. This looks darn good right now. However, for concealer, as I mentioned earlier, I did purchase the wrong formula. I wanted to get the hydrating and I got the matte, and it's also super, super light. So I'm gonna use this one, an old one that I had in my stash. It's looking a little rough, but I think it'll still work. This is the shade Light Beige, which is funny because I think this is the shade, no, Light Sand. Wait a second. I think they gave me the wrong thing. All right, so it turns out Target did give me the wrong thing. It is not the concealer that I ordered. So yeah, I'm going to use the Light Beige in the hydrating that I already own. And I'm going to put that on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to take this brush from Beauty Pie. I love this brush. And apply that under my eyes. I really do like the formula of this. I just think the shades are a little bit off. Although, this one isn't looking too bad. Sometimes when things go on yellow, they blend out actually okay. They don't end up being too yellow. But I do want to put just a tad, just like a touch of the Light Sand right there for some extra brightening. Did I say Light Sand or Light Beige? Oh gosh. I will put the correct names of everything I used, the correct shade names, in the description box. There we go. Yeah, I like that. We're going with the darker one, or the more yellow first. Blending that out. And then taking just a touch of the lighter shade right there and blending that out. I will say a little bit goes a long way with this concealer. All right, let's see how things are looking close up. Very good, actually. I'm impressed. For the inner corners of my eyes, I'm going to use this No Budge Shadow Stick in Perfect Pearl. I'm going to put that right here. And then also onto the inner corner of my lid, I don't love this. It seems to be a little bit patchy. I can see it kind of caking up in that inner corner. I'm going to take a clean shadow brush and go into that, well, first I'm going to take the white. I'll put that in the inner corner. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. Nice big pop of brightness. Perfect, okay. Oh yeah, you know what, I think I am just going to take that and put that where I put the shadow stick. I mean, it's still a little bit patchy right in there, but no one's going to notice. You'd have to be very, very close to me to notice that. But if I do this look again, I probably won't put the shadow stick down first. All right, now I need to powder because I am so oily that if I do leave it like this, I will end up very greasy by the end of the day because I used, you know, a glowy bronzy product mixed in with the foundation. And I'm going to go back and set with that halo powder. And this is in the shade medium. I'm going to use that to set my face, but not my under eyes because medium will be too dark for my under eyes. But it's perfect for the T-zone. Under the eyes, I'm using the Prime and Stay Finishing Powder in Fair Light. There we go. That's what we need under the eyes. The brightness. And then I also like to put a little bit in the smile lines, on the smile lines. I'm not going to use any cream bronzer today or cream contour. I'm just going to go back in with that first bronzer I used and just warm up my skin. And then for blush, I can't decide if I want to use one of these liquid camo blushes or this putty blush. I think we'll do the liquid camo. I'm just going to put a dot or a couple dots, and I'm actually going to use my fingers to blend it out so that the warmth of my fingertips will really work the product into my skin and make it look a little bit more seamless. And these do work over powder. As you saw, I set mostly my T-zone, not really the outer edges, but I did put bronzer in this area. I went a little bit overboard on this side, so let's even it out. My brows, I'm starting off by brushing them up with the Brow Wow Tinted Gel in Taupe, and then filling in the sparse areas with the Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil. And now I'm taking some of that same white shade that I put in my tear duct, and I am placing that right underneath the arch of my brow. And then for highlight and to add a little bit more color to the cheeks, I'm using this Halo Glow Beauty Wand in Magic Hour. Ooh, that's very pretty. It's almost like a bronzy color. I wasn't expecting it to be so bronzy. It looks like sort of a rose gold color in the tube, but it's more of like a rosy bronze, I guess. Now for lips. I told you I don't know the names of these, but I will figure it out and post the correct name for you. I think I'm gonna go for the lighter one today. And I'm going to line and fill in my entire lip with a pencil. I'm going to take a little concealer and clean up around the edges. And I'm going to top it with my favorite gloss. This is the Plumping Gloss in the shade Sweet Talker. All right, I have to say I am really, really loving the finished look. So let's start with the eyes. The first product I attempted to use was the eyeshadow base. I don't know if I got a bad one, but this was a fail for me. So as you saw, I went in and applied a little concealer to my lids and then set with some of the Halo Glow powder. The eyeshadow palette, the Everyday Smoky, is a must-have. I think if you like this sort of color story, if you like some shimmer, if you like a soft smoky eye, then this is definitely worth picking up, as is that bronzer I used to apply in my crease. And then I also used it as bronzer, but I started off with this through the crease. For the brow products, I have a definite yes in the Brow Wow, but a for the brow pencil. I don't know, I just find this brow pencil to be a little bit waxy. I personally prefer a little bit of a smaller tip for my brow pencils. So my personal opinion is, if you are looking for an affordable brow pencil, maybe try one from NYX or Maybelline. CoverGirl has some really good new ones. If you like a really tiny brow pencil to make hairs, if you're like me and you just don't have a lot of natural brow hairs. But the Brow Wow is fabulous, and I have tried it both ways. The way I demonstrated today, where I applied this first and then filled in with a pencil, but I've also done it the opposite way, where I have filled in my brows with a pencil and then applied this on top to set it in place and sort of fluff up the brows. I think I prefer, if I'm using the taupe, I prefer it after I've applied the brow pencil. If I'm using the soft brown that I also own, I can use that on its own and then just go into the sparse areas with a little bit of a pencil. And typically when I do that, I use like a Patrick Ta brow pencil or even the NYX pencil, just a finer point pencil, or even like a brow pen. So my point is that this is a great product either way you choose to use it. As far as the mascara goes, I like it. I don't love it. I'm not blown away by it. It's fine. Yes, it did give my lashes some lift. It didn't pull out the curl, but when I looked a little bit later, once all of my makeup was done and I was in my bedroom where my vanity is, I looked in the mirror and my lashes just looked sort of blah. And I prefer them to look a little bit more voluminous. Even though I don't have the best lashes, I can get them to look pretty darn good with the right mascara or mascara and primer combo. But I really felt like I needed to pop on like a half lash in order to really bring this look together. The bronzing drops and foundation duo, I think what I need is something better for my pores. I want to try this again using the Poreless Putty Primer, because while I do like the finish and the level of coverage, I don't feel like I'm smooth enough through the T-zone. I prefer more smoothness. And this powder, this Halo Glow powder, I know some people love it. It just didn't do it for me. I need that pore smoothing ability in a powder. But as far as the combo, the feel and the look, if pores are not an issue for you, I highly recommend trying this duo because it did go on beautifully. The concealer is also fine. I know there are some people that absolutely love it. They swear by it. I have just never gotten that real love for it. I have a like for it, but not a love. Now, even though this isn't drugstore, I do want to show you what I mean by getting that pore smoothing through the T-zone. I'm grabbing my Huda Beauty loose powder in Pound Cake, and then I'm just taking a puff and getting rid of those pores. I don't know if the camera is picking this up really well. No, I think it might be. I mean, no pores, pores. No pores, pores. And unfortunately, I did not find that the Halo Glow powder did that for me. Maybe someday they will come out with a powder like this one. That would be great for us oily, large pored folks. But yeah, I will definitely try this combination again with the Poreless Putty Primer and see if that helps. The blushes, the Camo blushes, they're good. I don't think they're particularly user-friendly because they are so pigmented and you can easily go overboard with these. But if you're careful, they are a very nice product and they do wear for a good amount of time, even on someone with oily skin. The shade selection I think is really nice. You can't beat the price. Speaking of not being able to beat the price, I have said this so many times in recent videos over the last few months, just raving about these $2 e.l.f. lip liners. These might be the best product in the entire e.l.f. range, at least to me. I sometimes choose these over my Makeup by Mario lip pencils, my Charlotte Tilbury lip pencils, any of my high-end lip pencils. These are just as good as those. And then we have the Lip Plumping Gloss. It's absolutely fabulous. I can't say enough good things about it, especially this color. I think this is the last product, the Halo Glow Beauty Wand Blush. This is supposed to be like an alternative to the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands. Maybe it's the color I got, but again, it's not awful. I'm just not super impressed by it. Milani just recently came out with their version, and I'll put a photo of it somewhere on the screen. I tried that recently, and that to me was definitely more comparable to the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands. Okay, as always, every product will be listed and linked down below in the description box, and as promised, I will find out the correct shade names of everything I used, since they're not on a lot of the packaging. And then I will also link the products through YouTube Shopping, so you will see the products appear on your screen, which makes shopping very easy as well. And if you did enjoy the video, I really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with a friend, leaving me a comment. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do post new videos at least twice per week. You can also find more from me over on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. My username is the same on every platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.